Hey guys, I got another review for you here. This one is of the 1/50th scale Hitachi Axis 350 LCK high reach demolition excavator. It's also switchable to a standard boom, as you can see in the background right there. This one's produced by Senshi. It's not really a manufacturer that too many people know, and the quality that they made this model in is actually very surprising coming from them. But to show its main features off is it has a removable extra weight right there. Obviously the boom raises, your knuckle folds out, stick moves out, shear rotates 360, open closes, nothing crazy. But then if you slide these pins out right here, I'll only show the review with one pin because it's easier to take in and out. But basically you just bring your other boom in right here, put it in, and you have a standard excavator boom. Now one thing I do have to point out is I did wash this model, and after I washed it, it loosened up the cylinders, so that's why it doesn't hold up the boom, but normally it would hold up the boom. And one of the great features about it, which it's kind of a win-lose situation, the booms are resin, which is basically a plastic product, but the great thing about it is it doesn't give any weight to the boom, so it can hold the boom up with it fully stretched out. But it's not metal, so it's not durable to say to play with. But anyway, to start off here, your track pads are plastic, but the undercarriage is metal. One thing that I'm surprised they didn't do was add a wider undercarriage. Like you can see here, it's not really wide at all. It barely comes out off the machine. But I'm very surprised that they didn't add the wider undercarriage for more stability. But it is nicely detailed, and the tracks do roll 360. What they do give you is extra links, which leads me to believe the tracks are fragile, so they just give you it just in case they do break. Cab has a full cab guard, overhead cab guard as well, and what's nice about it is the rails on the front look to be exactly to scale. They're not too large. The rest of the cab is nice. You have a catwalk on the side and on the front, which is a very nice feature. The inside is nothing crazy. Side over here, once again, it's nothing crazy. The camera is making it the color lighter than what it really is. It is actually very dark orange, which is nice. I like the orange a lot. But you have your simulated vents here. Now the removable counterweight basically just pops off, and I'm pretty sure they do give you pins to put here, so if you don't have the counterweight on, it basically just fills in the holes. But there's the bottom of the counterweight, and pretty much just line them up with the holes and put them on. And nice thing about it is it fits the model well. It doesn't. There's not too much of a crease. You can't see too much of a seam, so to say. Top of the model is nothing crazy, but it is nice. You have the anti-slip texture here, the scaled exhaust stack, and the ports here. Right side, once again, nothing crazy, just like the real machine. Metal hand railing, which was a little disappointing. And now the boom adapter, which so you can put your high reach to your standard boom, is actually metal. And it has casted hydraulic lines in, which gives it a very nice touch. Boom lift cylinders can hold up both booms at any position. It could hold them out stretched out, closed in, doesn't matter. This one just folds because I washed it, like I said. Now, the standard boom, what gives this boom so much capability is these two cylinders on the bottom here. You can adjust its angle, so you could bring it down to a standard excavator boom, or you can make it a straight boom for better reach. Never seen this on a real, well, not in person, but in pictures. But that's a very nice feature about it. And the hydraulic line is very nice as well. They added those in. Then you have more casted ones on the boom, Hitachi markings, and the stick, which is plumbed with auxiliary lines, which you can probably put the shear on here if you want to give it a little customization. And the greatest thing about this, which I like the best, would have to be the skeleton bucket. This is basically a screener. So you put your material in here, you bring it up, move the stick back and forth, and all the larger materials will stay inside the bucket, and all the thin material will go out of the bucket. And that is great to have on a model, because it just gives it a really nice look to it. And but one thing I do want to point out is the bucket is very fragile. I'd say the teeth, they feel fragile. They are strong, but in my opinion, they just feel very fragile to me. Now we'll put the high reach boom on it. Now, the high reach boom is on it. I just have to get that. There we go. High reach boom is in. And I don't know which boom I like more, the standard or the high reach. I pretty much like them both the same. But another cool feature that they added on the high reach boom is this extension right here, which you can take off with these pins, but they would have to be drilled out. But the extension is nice to have because it gives you an extra maybe 5 to 10 feet. It looks like 10 feet on the real machine. And then the rest of the boom, which is nothing crazy. It's nice though. The casted hydraulic lines in, and from here on, all this is resin. Now, one thing that I'm a little unsure on is if it comes with lines up here. Mine didn't come with it, and it didn't come with extra ones in the box, but it has the cutouts to put them in, so I'm unsure on that. I don't really know. This piece is called your knuckle right here, and that's as far as it will stretch out. Now, the stick casted lines, your curl cylinder, and I don't understand why they left that metal. They did the same thing on the standard boom. Don't know why, but that's what they did. Now, one of the coolest things about this model, the shear. This shear is for both concrete and steel, and it rotates 360 degrees. Anyway, and I don't know if you could see, it's a little hard to tell, but if you look on the end right there, it gives you the simulated wear guards. And it's furthest it'll tilt back, but it tilts forward nice and far. A large disappointment on it was that they didn't paint the pins, just to give it a nicer look, and it makes the model flow a little more. Now, they give you this right here, which is your boom stand. I don't know exactly how they made this boom stand or what they made it off, but I don't think there's no actual way to put it, especially the high reach boom. It just doesn't sit in properly, and this one doesn't either, because it would be resting on your cylinder. So, I really don't know, but I'll give you the maximum height here. Here's the maximum height for it. It's about arm length. There it is, top of my arm. But if you do want to fold it out a little more, we'll go a little more. But you will never see a high reach going at this height, because everything will just fall into the cab. Usually, they're at around a 45. You can go a little bit higher, but you gotta go at a safe reach because stuff will fall into your cab. So normally they're around this height. If I had to choose inches in scale, I would say maybe 24 inches in height. But overall, it's a great model. It retails for $199. I got it for $130 because I had it on order since December, and it just never came in. And it finally did, so I guess they just gave it to me for that price. But overall, it's a great model. A lot of it is resin, but it doesn't really take away from the model too much, especially the look of it. Overall, it's a very nice model, and if you're looking for a high reach, I would definitely get it, because not only do you get a high reach, but you get a standard excavator as well, with attachments that some people would consider custom. But anyway, there you go.